So, after about a year and a half, we're finally finishing the Saw franchise reviews. For now. Welcome back to Island's Horror World. My name is Island. Of course, you guys already know that. So yes, we're finally going to finish the reviews of the Saw franchise. I know, right? It's been like a million years since I've done a review of the first movie. So finally, we're going to finish this franchise. It's only been like a week or so since I did my Saw 7 review. Not as long as it normally would be. I promise you I'm back, okay? I'm actually back now. For real. So, yeah, we're finally gonna get to Jigsaw. Finally. This is gonna be the last review of the entire franchise until Spierig comes out in the next 2 months. So, I can't wait for the movie, honestly. But, for now, this review series will be over. And then I will officially announce what, not series I'm reviewing, but what genre of horror I'm gonna be reviewing next. But for now, let's talk about some Jigsaw. So, this is the only one of the franchise until Spierig comes out. At least it actually had a long gap of waiting since the last film. It had been 7 years since Saw 7 came out, or Saw 3D, even though the 3D is completely pointless, but I digress. So, when we found out this movie was going to be coming out, when we found out in 2016, I bet you a lot of us were pretty surprised. And I bet you when everybody saw the trailer, they were either hyped for this movie or they were questioning whether or not this would be a good movie. Now, I didn't see this movie in 2017. I saw this movie like about a year or so afterwards, but yes, I still saw this movie. So, this movie is split between fans. People love it, people hate it. I'm in the middle on this one. I actually like this movie. I don't love it, but I do like it quite a bit. Now, I'm going to try to make this review not as ridiculously long as my other videos because I don't want it to take as long to upload as my other videos because my last review took about half an hour to upload and it was horrible for me because I want to get my videos out to you guys as soon as I can, but still. Anyway, there is a few problems with this movie. Like a lot of these films, actually every single one of these films have problems because none of the Saw movies are perfect. Then again, no movie's perfect. What do you expect? But anyway, we're gonna get on with the positives of Jigsaw. Yeah, the thing is, there isn't really that many positives I have for this movie because I just can't think of others. Positive number 1. Like I say with every single one of these reviews, the score by Charlie Clouser is of course awesome. It's always awesome. He delivers a phenomenal score in all of these movies. I always have to mention him in these videos because he deserves to be mentioned. He's one of the most underrated composers ever. So, yeah, I gotta give credit to him for the score in this movie. I'm glad he's coming back for Spiral, even though that is like a completely different story than these movies. But I'm glad he's coming back. He delivers one of the best scores of the entire franchise with this movie. So, yeah, gotta give props to him for that. Positive number 2. Despite the fact they're not as overly violent or as gory as the previous installments, the traps in this movie are still really, really cool. I still like the traps a lot in this movie, despite the fact they're not as torture porny as the last films, which, in my opinion, that's kind of a good thing, because it was getting too gory with the last ones. But I really like the traps they do have in this movie. I like the bucket trap. I like the spiral thingy that can shred you into like several pieces because of like a motorcycle engine. I think that's what it is. And yeah, like the traps in this movie, they're actually more creative than the ones in the previous films. Even though I do like the traps in the previous films, but like these ones, like they're actually very cool. The Spierig brothers actually were creative when it came to that. So gotta give props to them because they had a pretty cool mindset when it came to the traps. So my hat tips off to you people. Positive number 3. There's a scene in this movie that I actually thought was pretty cool, to be honest. It's the scene where these coroners, I cannot remember their names. They're 2 of the main characters of the movie, but one of them is obsessed with Jigsaw for whatever reason. I know, weird, right? And she takes the male coroner. Why can I not remember his name? Oh, is his name Logan? Hold on, let me check. Yes, his name is Logan. That's correct. So she takes Logan to this shrine place. It's not really a shrine. It's a place that she has with a lot of the traps from the previous movies, even though I do not know how she got all these traps without being caught by the cops. I don't know how, but still, I think it's pretty cool to see all the old traps again. So I actually do quite like that scene. And my final positive in the movie, sadly, is part of the twist ending. Part of it. That's all I'll say. Part of it is good. Now, I will be giving away the twist because, yes, this movie is a few years old, and if you haven't seen Jigsaw, go watch it, please. So if you haven't seen it, click out of this video. Don't come back until you finish watching the movie. Then come back and watch this review, because I will be giving away the twist of Jigsaw. Now, to be honest, it's not my favorite twist of the series, but it's an alright twist, and part of it is actually great. So, anyways, 3, 2, 1, you've been warned. Go watch Jigsaw if you haven't yet, and then come back. So, part of the twist ending that I do like is the fact that the game we see in the movie took place 10 years before. Now, there is some major plot holes with this twist that I'll get on with in my negatives, but I actually like the idea of it. I really like the idea of the fact that the game we see in the movie took place before the entire series even happened. I do not understand why or how people knew about this, even though they really shouldn't have known about it because the bodies were never found, blah, 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 but still, whatever, right? It's still a decent twist. It's not the worst twist in the world, it ain't the best, but it's a decent one. So I gotta give props to the writers of this movie. I can't remember who wrote this movie, but that is a creative idea for a twist. It's not executed really good, but it's still a pretty decent twist, not gonna lie. Now on to my negatives. There's only 3 negatives I have, but they're pretty major negatives. So let's go ahead and get on to those negatives, shall we? Negative number 1, my biggest negative in the entire movie. Let's go ahead and get out of the way. Plot holes galore. There are so many plot holes in this movie. I can't even do this. So let's go ahead and name them off. So 1, even though the game is supposed to take place before the events of the franchise, why are there flat screen televisions? I'd like to know that. Even though flat screen televisions didn't exist until like the late 2000s, 2010s. Why are there flat screens? Why? This is what happens when you execute a twist like this in 2017. You're not gonna do it. Realistically, you're of course gonna have flat screens, even though it makes no sense whatsoever. Second, I now remember the female coroner's name. Her name is Eleanor. I think that's right. So, now I like the scene where we see all the Jigsaw traps from the previous films, but I want to know, how does she get a hold of these? How did she get them there without the police finding out? And why is she that obsessed with Jigsaw? You would think she's a Jigsaw apprentice, but nope. As we find out in the ending, no she ain't. So, why does she have all these? She's like, and like for the entirety of the movie, she acts like a crazy serial killer, and yet she's not a Jigsaw apprentice. This makes no sense. Then why does she have these? Why is she so obsessed with Jigsaw? I don't understand. Oh my lord. You would think she's an apprentice like Hoffman or Amanda, but nope. No, she's not. And that hasn't make less sense. This doesn't make sense. Oh my god. Oh, and a third. This actually involves the twist of the movie. You already know the twist because I already told you. and of course you've seen the movie, so you would know, but like, we see Jigsaw towards the end of the movie. We see Tobin Bell, we see John Kramer, and this will get into my second negative of the movie, because it's also a big negative, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, one of the people in the game, Anna, so she had a bad relationship with her husband. She did not like her baby. She killed her baby. We'll get to that in the second negative with the characters, but whatever. Jigsaw somehow knew she killed the baby, even though she framed her husband, and Jigsaw was next door. And how would he know that? How would he know this if he wasn't there at the crime scene? I don't get this. How would he know? I don't get, oh my god. How would he know she killed the baby when he was not at the freaking crime scene? I don't get it. What is this? What is with the plot holes? I don't get it. Oh my god. Negative number 2. I hate every single character in this movie. This is a problem I've got with Saw 2, but it's worse here. Every single character is unlikable. Unlikable. All of them I hate. I want every single one of them to die. I hate all of them. I hate every character. Every character in this movie I hate with a freaking passion. Okay, some of them I just don't like. There's a few characters in the movie I don't like, but there are several that I hate so much. Oh my lord. Every character in this movie is a murderer. I don't understand this. Every character is a murderer. What's going on here? Oh my lord. What is with every character in the Saw movies being so freaking unlikable? Why? Why do you always have to make the characters unlikable in your franchise? Can you at least give me 1 or 2 likable characters? Nope. Every single character has to have a flaw. Like, okay, I can get a character having a flaw, but if you make them so unlikable to the point I hate them, you have a problem when it comes to writing characters. You have Anna, who killed her baby, who smothered it to death, which already that is a horrible freaking thing to do. Don't ever do that to your kids. You're sick psycho if you do that. Don't ever do that. You have Ryan, who, well, indirectly caused the death of his friends and pleaded not guilty for it. He got off and, like, he got away with it. Why would you get away with it? Oh my god. You should be in jail for that. You have Mitch, who sold a bike to Jigsaw's nephew, and you knew it had a faulty brake, and you still sold it, and it killed his nephew anyway. Okay. And then you have Halloran, who releases people who do crimes, and he literally says this towards the end of the movie.
Okay, I did some shitty things, but the system's broken. I tried to fix it. Okay. I tampered with evidence. I took bribes. I put innocent people away. Murderers and rapists walked. People died because of me. Innocent people died because of me. I did it.
Oh my god. Why? No, why? I don't get it. You have Eleanor, who's obsessed with Jigsaw and has a Jigsaw fan club and has his traps all over her apartment, which is already illegal. Don't do this. Now, okay, Logan is not as bad until you realize the twist with him that we'll get to. Now, he accidentally made a mistake. He made a mistake. He switched, like, the x-rays when it came to finding out when John Kramer had cancer. He mistakenly said he didn't have cancer, but it turned out he had a brain tumor and he ended up dying for it. Well, okay. John Kramer didn't die from the brain tumor. He was killed in Saw 3, but, like, he could have died from the brain tumor. That's what I'm trying to say. But when you find out the twist with him, he's not a good person. And, like, oh, why is every character in this movie so unlikable? I don't understand this. I really hope that in Spiral we have some decent to likable characters. I'm hoping that happens. I pray to God, please make it happen. And negative number 3, my final negative. Thank God. Then we can get out of here and finally finish this franchise. Logan being a Jigsaw accomplice makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't get this. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, the bucket trap. Logan was part of that trap, and he was the guy sleeping on the floor the entire time, and like, he's the heaviest sleeper in the freaking world because they're all screaming at him to wake up, and he doesn't wake up until like he's pulled into the salt place. Well, turns out John Kramer was in the very next room, saved him, and made him a Jigsaw accomplice. Now, that would not necessarily be so bad if it weren't for the fact that his plan to frame Detective Halloran was so convoluted, so confusing, and it doesn't make a lick of sense. How could he have done this? How would he have done this without Halloran knowing? I don't get it. Halloran is already on you. He's already suspecting you as Jigsaw. He's already suspecting you. So how in the world? And the way they market the movie is that, oh, John Kramer came back from the dead. Really? No. His throat was slit open in Saw 3. He died. There's no way he could come back from that unless he's Jason freaking Voorhees. But I digress. So, but Logan's plan was so confusing. I don't even want to get in any more of it. I can't even describe how confusing and muddled it is. Anyways, guys, Jigsaw is a decent movie, the franchise. It ain't great. It's not bad. It's just meh. It's in the middle. It's not amazing. It ain't great. It's in the middle. It's a good movie. It's not amazing, but like it's okay. So anyway, I'm gonna give Jigsaw, and only see it if you want to see it, because I do think you should see this movie, and I think a lot of you out there may like it. It's just not, for me, it's not the best in the entire franchise. It's one of the best. It's one of the better installments of the franchise, but there are just so many problems bringing the movie down for me. So I'm going to give it an only see it if you want to see it. So what do you guys think of Jigsaw? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think this is an abomination, like the worst bottom of the barrel of the franchise? Or do you think Saw 7 is? I don't care. Or do you think it's one of the better installments, or maybe even your favorite of the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button and click the subscribe button down below for more videos. And in the very next video, which is my ranking of the Saw franchise, I will let you know what genre, what subgenre of horror I will be reviewing next after this franchise. So until then, I guess that's pretty much it. So anyways, I'm Adeline. This is Adeline's Horror World. Of course, you guys already know that. I love all you guys to death. And until next time,